Hey Paul, are you excited for the new TMNT set?
Uh-huh.
Oh man, me too. I'm so excited for Superfly, man. That guy seems really, really cool. You know, I think he might just be peak Universus.
Yeah, man. Super fly.
Ah man, and schemes are so cool and they really make you feel like you're a supervillain, like fighting crimes and
God, Barrett Bryan's such a good game designer.
Paul,
What?
who's your favorite TMNT character, Paul?
Real.
Round one, fight!
Welcome back, Universes players. It's me, Paul, and we're back again with a new video, but this time it won't be a budget build. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite decks in the current format that uses a brand new character coming from probably my favorite challenger product of all time, which is awesome. It's finally surpassing Vash and Wolfwood for me. That's right, we're talking about the World Warrior himself, Ryu World Warrior. God, he's so beautiful. As a forewarning, this is an optimized build, so it won't quite be on a budget. There will be some expensive cards in here, but towards the end of the video, I will be listing some more budget-friendly options for those of you who still want to play a version of this deck without quite breaking the bank. So if you are here for the budget builds, stay tuned, we've still got something for you. Ryu is a 6-hand size, 32 health character with the all fire and void symbols, which is a very unique symbol combination that we haven't seen since Ken 2 in the Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers set, which is a fun shout out to Ryu's old training partner, if a rather violent version of that training partner. Ryu has the Brawler keyword with the abilities Enhance Tenacious. Your non-tech, non-weapon attack gets +2 damage. A fun little shout out to Ryu being infamously bad with technology. Additionally, he has a powerful second ability which states Response Commit. After an attack is completely blocked, draw 3 cards. Add 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck. This character is all about 2 things: sending some strong moves at your rival, drawing cards, and stacking your own deck to boost your future attacks. We've perfectly curated our deck to make sure we're playing the perfect attacks for a fighting game character. I'll be honest, the main reason that I started playing this deck is because I wanted a good excuse to play one of my favorite cards that was reprinted in MHA Set 4, and this is just the first character that's come up in a long time that has perfectly fit this card. We're finally bringing it back. That's right, we're bringing back the one and only Valiant Assault, baby. What's better than drawing 3 cards a turn? Drawing 5 cards a turn, or 7, sometimes even 9 cards a turn if we draw 3 of them? Like, we have enough solid punches on the all symbol now, and through the fire attune symbol to bring punches back in a really, really big way. This deck is all about drawing cards and getting some real value out of all of the cards that we draw. The core idea of this deck came to me because I wanted each of the cards in the deck to fit one of 3 different roles. I wanted it to either be a bad decision for your rival, which is a move that leaves your rival with a negative decision regardless of how they choose to deal with it. It makes for great pokes as well as string enablers, and it includes cards like Earthbreaker, Blow to the Head, and Valiant Assault, all of which have really powerful on-damage effects that make our rival really want to full block our move, which will turn on our character's bottom response. I also wanted there to be cards that are card pool cleaners, as a lot of our moves are printed 5 difficulty, and I wanted to make sure that we could either kick cards from our card pool or pick up cards from our card pool to make our strings just a little bit easier. These cards include Pale Rider, which might be my favorite attack in all of the Street Fighter Challenger deck. It clears a card from our card pool to help pay for its echo cost, and Big Fist Bash, which allows us to add a mid attack from earlier in the string, usually Valiant Assault, to be played again later in the string. With all the cards we're drawing, Big Fist Bash is pretty easy to play most of the time, and we'll usually have excess cards to dump to make sure that we can pick up Valiant Assault. I wanted cards to be wall breakers, so cards that can shut down our rival's big wall, and really, if you know me, you know I'm a sucker for some stun 2 haymakers, so we shoved in my 2 favorite haymakers in the game right now, Attack Titan's Haymaker and Earthbreaker. Of course, the best thing about our character, card draw engines. This includes Earthbreaker, Valiant Assault, or, in a way, Big Fist Bash, as it does add a card back to our hand. This attack package really enables our character's already powerful card draw abilities and allows us to draw as many attacks as we can, while also allowing us to play all the attacks that we can. If you enjoy drawing cards and playing every single attack in your hand, this is the deck for you. With all of these cards that we're drawing, this deck is the perfect home for the AOT1UR Sacrifice for the Cause. This card allows us to dump our excess cards for some extra damage, and with many of the cards in our deck having some pretty high block mods, we're usually easily getting anywhere from +4 to +6 damage on every attack when used in tandem with our character. And if we're lucky, we'll even have Aaron's Determination out there too, which is the shifted side of Attack Titan's Haymaker. It is very easy to make our moves impossible for our rival to ignore and create massive threats that they have to deal with immediately. We do have a small problem, however, that I kind of brought up before. A lot of our attacks are printed 5 difficulty or higher, so how are we supposed to pass all these checks? Well, worry not, my friend, because we were gifted one of the most busted aggressive foundations ever printed. Battle holds the answer. An insane foundation from the Ryu decks that lets us commit it to pass a check and then stack it on top to pass one of our later attacks for the low cost of just taking it from our stage and putting it on top of our deck. This card is insane in enabling our strings and making it low cost to play our Pale Rider pretty early on consistently. We also have the insane new UR foundation, the Unending Path, which allows us to look at the top 2 cards of our deck when our attack is blocked. This card lets us sneak a peek at a future check and even stack it a little bit, or if our rival has 10 or more foundations, we just get to draw a card. This card basically turns us into Jiro 1 on block, without, of course, looking at our rival's deck too, but still, that's a potent ability that we can't quite ignore. We also have a favorite of mine, Capture the Target, which is a cheap foundation that lets us re-ready it if we have 3 or more attacks in our card pool. I will warn you that this foundation can be a little bit clunky in this build, just because with Pale Rider flipping itself after it echoes, sometimes it's a little tricky to get 3 or more attacks in our card pool, depending on the string that we choose to take, but I still do think this foundation is worth it, and I think you're going to find yourself with 3 attacks in your card pool more often than you don't have 3 attacks in your card pool. With all of this aggression, I think it's still really important to remember we've still got to survive our rival's turn. Thankfully, the All Void and Fire symbols have got us covered with some really potent defense. Our main defensive game plan employs the powerful Big Fist Bash with a really strong Breaker 3 rating. A fun trick that we can employ on our rival's turn is with the card Fateful Decision, which can give our block Breaker 1. We can use 1 to 2 of these, block with a Big Fist Bash, and then completely shut down a kill string by giving our block multiple instances of Breaker 1, topped off with that sweet, sweet Breaker 3. We've also got the staple defensive answer Moment of Normalcy as just a generic reset for when we can't quite block or take too much damage from our rival's move. We've also got Resting Up to give us a nice -3 speed for when we've already naturally committed our character when we use his bottom effect. As a card gamer, one of my favorite pet pieces from this new deck is the new card, Not Now, I'm Gaming. A new piece that can add an attack back to your rival's hand. I really love this card in this deck because sometimes with Ryu or the Unending Path, we already know what we're checking and we don't even have to stress about if we're going to be able to pass a check on a 7 or not. It's a really great way to stop our rival from playing their final move 3 or 4 attacks deep into their string and really just cause a rival's luck to push against them a bit. Topping all of this off is Andrew Holder's least favorite card, Filled with Doubt, which I am personally generally not a fan of in 6-handers, as we have to pay the secret costs of discarding a card from our hand and adding a card to our card pool in order to play with it. But because we usually draw 8 cards a turn cycle, sometimes more, pretty consistently, this card is a lifesaver in slowing down our rival and potentially saving us 1 more turn. Now, as I kind of hinted at before, you might be looking at this deck and you're going, this is a really cool deck and all, but it's not necessarily new player friendly. There's a whopping 7 secret rares in here, and 3 copies of one of the most sought after ultra rares in all of Attack on Titan. And if you don't play this game regularly, truthfully, I don't expect you to buy these cards. I think that they're great, and I think that they're really going to boost up your deck, but I totally understand that that is a pretty hefty paywall to get through. So we're going to talk about some budget options that you can throw in as well. The first option is one that probably should be in the deck anyways, but I have omitted it, not because it's not good, but because I think that the cards that were in the deck served the role just a little bit better, and for me personally, were just a little more fun to play. That said, I think Rising Uppercut is one of the best new punches to come in the Street Fighter Clash decks, and it's so generically strong that I think it could absolutely serve a vital role in this build. And I think I would toss 4 copies in the sideboard regardless of whether or not I end up putting any in the main board. It's affordable and it's super powerful. Another great option is always brought up to me every time I've built a Ryu deck and showed it off by my friend Kevin. He's gone, man, why haven't you put Besiege in here? And my answer is always, I don't know, it's not a punch. Besiege is always just a pretty great option because it's just an awesome move you can throw in at the end of the string and go, hey man, you gotta have a +3 mid block while you're already committed out, and it's 6 damage in Ryu. So it's something that should probably be there, but I didn't want to focus on it in this video because I really wanted to focus on the punch package and really highlight how cool the punch package is right now. But I think bare minimum, even if you build this deck card for card, it's a card that's worth trying out, as I think it's just a generically cool and strong card. If you're looking for a substitute for Earthbreaker and Haymaker, there aren't a ton of options, but I think that there's one really cool budget option that's worth thinking about. Barrier Buster is awesome. It can get to stun 2 if you have the momentum for it, but also it just ends up being an extremely fast move if our rival is built out enough. Not to mention, it has an incredibly potent powerful 3 that can get up to powerful 4 if we have the extra momentum to spare for it. And it's a mid to support our Big Fist Bash, so we can play it, pick it up, play it again. So I think this is a great option and a totally valid substitute if you can't afford your Earthbreakers or Haymakers. If we don't have access to our beautiful Big Fist Bash, then I am a huge fan of Yusuke Spirit Wave, which is a vanilla uncommon from Yu Yu Hakusho that is both a punch and has a very nice Breaker 2 tacked onto it. It's vanilla for sure, but that Breaker 2 sure can push your defensive game plan forward, especially when we combine it with our foundation that gives our moves Breaker 1. Finally, I think there's a huge argument for a deck like this to have a throw in it for a finishing move for when your rival is at low health and you just gotta get like 3 or 4 damage in. And for this, I think the cards Redirecting Push and Countering Toss are great, affordable options that also have fantastic on-block effects. I think the best choice is Redirecting Push, as it's generically the best card, but I can also see a good argument for Countering Toss if your local meta happens to be full of throw decks and you just want to tell them, absolutely not, get off me with your throws. I am in love with this deck, and I have been absolutely adoring getting to terrorize my locals with it for the last couple of weeks. If you want to buy this deck to bring to your locals, we have all the cards listed in the description, as well as our TCG Player affiliate link for you to buy the cards right away. If you bring it to your locals, please let me know what you think, and if you tried any of the extra budget options, let me know how they play. I'd love to hear about them and love to hear your notes on the deck and your experience with it. With that, thanks for watching everybody, and as always, keep coping, World Warriors.